Welcome everybody. So today I'm going to bring you guys a brand new YouTube review, and this is going to be for Shane Black's The Predator. Now, The Predator stars Keegan-Michael Key as well as Thomas Jane and a variety of different actors. This movie, did I like it? I thought it was pretty decent. Am I going to say that this movie is fantastic? No, this movie definitely has a lot of flaws with it, and I think I'm going to express that in this review. Collected, all the comics. I got the Alien vs. Predator Omnibus Volume 1 sitting on my bookshelf back behind me. I've even got the Predator comic book from the one that kind of inspired Predator 2 with the concrete jungle aspect of it. So I was really looking forward to actually getting into this review because this is a franchise that I really come to like. I even wrote a fan-made spec screenplay, which I'm not going to reveal the plot for, just because I hope to make it someday. This movie stars a U.S. Special Forces soldier who is in the jungle somewhere. He finds and stumbles upon a crashed alien ship. Him and his team, they start getting hunted one by one, and then the government comes in and basically takes him in for questioning. They're trying to figure out, did he kill his team or what happened to his team? And it's this big convoluted plot, and then they eventually bring in Olivia Munn's character. And Olivia Munn, I like her from Attack of the Show. I think she's a really great actress. I think that if given the right roles, she can actually do something really great with the characters that she's given. But in this movie, she plays the same, kind of boring character that she plays in the past couple movies that she's played, and she does the same face throughout most of the movie, and it was kind of disappointing to see because, I know Olivia Munn can act, and I know she's got a great personality, so why they didn't give her, enough screen time, I don't know. I've seen her in a variety of different things, and I think that if given the right opportunity, she can come up with some amazing stuff. X-Men Apocalypse, I think was the name, didn't really do that much for her character in that film. She was pretty much given 0 lines in that film, and I was hoping that with this movie that this could break up her acting a little bit and kind of give her more role. There's this plot where Olivia Munn's character, they find out that she's a scientist and she specializes in, animals and different species and such, and she's taken to the government facility where they're kind of experimenting on the Predator. And while this might seem cool, this part is pretty mundane. This is pretty much your standard, the scientist meets the aliens inside of a special facility similar to that of Independence Day, and then everything kind of goes haywire in there. And there's this really cool action sequence that takes place where the Predator, breaks free and starts killing all the guys inside of the facility because they're all shooting at him. This Predator is supposedly the good guy, so he's supposedly giving us this technology, so why he's just going in there just meleeing everybody and killing everybody is anybody's guess. But the writing in this movie is a little bit convoluted. There's times where this movie goes off the deep end in terms of the plot and the characters, and I just felt like this movie, if done another pass in terms of another draft, this movie could have been fantastic in terms of the story and the characters. This movie felt like it was done either on the second or third draft of the movie. I'm not entirely sure how many drafts this took before they finally got to the finished product, but this movie is, from a story standpoint, some of the most cliched stuff that you're ever going to find in a film. Pretty much the entire plot you can predict from the start, and they try a couple different new things where the kid kind of has access to the alien technology. He's got Asperger's, so he's on the spectrum, but they're going like, oh, Asperger's is a new evolutionary trait, and that the predators are basically trying to take control of human evolution by merging their DNA with human DNA. And one of the stupid lines in this movie is like, who fucked the predator? I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, this is actually in a movie. Like, this doesn't make any sense. But a lot of the jokes don't really make sense. There's this really funny joke when they're on the bus that Michael Keaton makes, and he's like, if your mother was a video game rating, she'd be rated E for everyone. I thought that was pretty funny, but it just didn't fit within the setting that they were in. Like, if you're gonna try to build up the characters, you should have done it where you kind of like give backstory of who these people were. They're just riffing off each other and giving funny jokes and stuff, and there's like this, it doesn't make any sense why they did this. It just kind of off-put me. The very first about 50 to 60 minutes of this movie, I would say, is probably really good, and then the last 60 minutes of this film, I would say, is fantastic. It's the middle ground where they're trying to wake Olivia Munn up after the whole incident with the base and everything where they escape, and trying to hunt down the predator is where it kind of gets dull because there's this stupid scene where, the kid is getting picked on and everything in school, which he finds the predator technology, which you've seen in the trailer, so I'm not really giving anything away. He puts it on, activates it. He's doing this whole Halloween thing because it's around Halloween time, and Shane Black likes to do that where he puts like Christmas and Halloween and stuff in his films, different holidays for whatever reason, and he likes to use that as part of the setting. This kid uses the predator technology and shoots a guy that he knocked on the door, so he just pretty much murdered somebody, and it's like that's never addressed within the later half of the movie ever. Another part is this military guy who's also running sort of the operations where they're researching the predator, uses the predator plasma caster. It flips towards him and it shoots and kills him. Like, that was kind of weird. Apparently the predator devices now, whenever they sense danger, they can activate and kill people, and that was never really in the predator films previously. The predator always had sort of like a control of their own gear, and stuff. And I just think that Shane Black took these basic concepts and why did you do some of that? Like, you didn't need to do any of that. And okay, cool. If you had that in this movie, why was it never used in the previous movies since these predators are so advanced? That being said, should you go see this movie? Should you go, take your family to go see this movie? I would say not your entire family, but anybody who's like 18 and up, unless you know for sure that they've seen the previous Predator movies and they're not affected by, blood and guts and violence and stuff. There is a little bit of nudity, but they kind of shy away from it. It's like, if you're going to be a hardcore R, why not go the hardcore R, rating and show, a little bit of nudity? Like, I don't think that would pretty much piss off anybody in the film. There's hardly any of that. There's mostly just violence and blood and stuff, and even the blood looked kind of cheesy and fake at times. Some of the CGI was obviously not finished. It felt like they kind of rushed it to get it finished on time, and some of it looked actually pretty good in parts, but, I was really disappointed. As a person who's a fan of the Predator franchise, I just expected something better from this movie. But did I enjoy this? I did enjoy, like I said, some of it. Some of it was done really well. The action sequences were great. There's a ton of really cool kills in this movie. So part of me enjoyed it, part of me didn't. It's kind of the whole, Star Wars syndrome where you like some of the stuff in it and then you don't like some of the other stuff in it. And for me as a Predator fan, I felt a little bit gypped with this movie, but I know that we've gotten bad movies before, so this doesn't really surprise me. But overall, I would say if you're a Predator fan, you should definitely go see this movie. Don't expect anything, like mind-blowing out of the Predator franchise like the original movies were. Just go in thinking this is going to be another, turn your brain off type of thing. Just munch on popcorn, drink an alcoholic beverage if you can. A little bit of alcohol, you're able to enjoy this more. I did like the idea that the government was kind of coming in though and kind of taking control over the Predator, technology, and they were experimenting on predators and stuff. And that part I thought was really interesting. But other than that, I would have to say that this movie is about a C. This movie is definitely not a B. It's definitely not an A. So I would go with a C grade. So that is my review for The Predator. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And as always, guys, rate, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Boys.